welcome back to another CrosseMaths lesson. Okay, today we're going to be doing adding and taking away fractions. Can you pause the video now and have a go at the challenge grid in front of you? Red is worth 1 point, yellow is worth 2 points, and green is worth 3 points. So they're the difficult questions. Have a go and I'll go through it in a second. Right guys, so you should be all done now. You should have all had a go at those. Okay, I'm going to go through each individual one. Okay, the first one, we got 549 divided by 9. So I set up my bus stop exactly as I would all the time. 549 divided by 9. 9 doesn't go into 5, so I put 0 up top, carry the 5 over. 9 goes into 54 6 times. 9 goes into 9 once. So my answer is 61. Next one, I got 839 plus 57. So I set up my column addition exactly as I would normally. Okay, remember everything hugs the right hand side. 9 plus 7 is 16. 6 goes by there, carry the 1 over. 3 plus 5 plus 1 is 9. And 8 underneath is nothing. Okay, 8 plus nothing just gives you 8. So my answer is 896. 1 point. Next one, 49 times 82. Okay, take your time with this one. Okay, do any method of multiplication you feel like doing. Okay, I'm going to do Chinese because I really like it and I find it really easy. Okay, so you set up your grid and all the lines go from the bottom left hand corner to the bottom right. I've got 49 times 82. 4 times 8 gives you 32, so 3 goes in the top left, 2 goes in the bottom right. 9 times 8 is 72, 7 goes in the top left, 2 goes in the bottom right. 4 times 2 is 8. And 9 times 2 is 18. Once you're there, you just add up your slides. Okay, so the first slide I've just got 8. Then I've got an 8, a 1 and a 2, which makes 11. Then I've got a 7, a 2, a 0 and a 1, which makes 10. And a 3 and a 1, which makes 4. So my answer is 4,018. 3 points. Next, I've got a bit of solving equations. Now, the key to solving equations is to try and get x on its own. That's the whole point of them, okay? You want to find out what x is. In order to do that, I'm going to have to get rid of this plus 9 first. In order to get rid of that plus 9, I'm going to have to take it away from both sides. You do the opposite of whatever you can see to get rid of it. So plus 9, I'm going to take away 9 to both sides. Okay? 3x moves straight down because there's nothing underneath it. Plus 9 minus 9 gives me nothing. 42 take away 9 is 33. Then if I want to get x on its own, I've got to divide by 3 now. Because I've got 3 times x, and all I want is 1x. So 3x divided by 3 gives me 1x. 33 divided by 3 leaves me with 11. So I know x is 11. If I put x is 11 back into the top, 3 times 11 is 33, plus 9 is 42, so I know I'm right. 7.5 take away 1.6. Okay, set everything up. Okay, you want to line up your decimal points. Okay, 5 take away 6, I can't do it in column subtraction, so I'm going to borrow. Borrow 1 from the 7, so the 7 turns to a 6. 1 goes over. 15 take away 6 is 9. Decimal point moves straight down. 6 take away 1 is 5. My answer is 5.9. Okay, a bit of simplifying. Okay, I'm going to put some rectangles around my x value. So I've got 8x and I got minus 4x. It's important to get the sign in, okay? Get the sign in front of whatever letter you're dealing with. And I've got my y's. So I've got a 7y. And I've got a 9y. Positive 9y. Okay, 8x take away 4x is just 4x. 8 take away 4 is 4. And then minus 7y plus 9y is positive 2y. Okay, important. You can't put those two together. That, by there, is your final answer. Okay, x's and y's won't go together. They're different. Okay, 55% of 120. Okay, always find 10% first. 10% of 120 is 12. Next, I'm going to find 50%. So I times that 10% by 5. If I times both sides by 5, I end up with 60 on the right-hand side. Next, I want 5% in order to make the 55% in the question, which is half of 10%. Half of 10% is 6. And then if I add those two up, 50 plus 5 is 55%. 55%, add up the top these two as well. 60 plus 6 is 66. So 55% is 66. If you've got a quicker way of getting it, that's brilliant. Stick with your way. This is just the way I know. And my way is exactly the same whatever the numbers are. The numbers don't change anything. You still follow the same steps. But please, if you've got a way that works, you stick with it. Share £72 in the ratio 4 to 3. Okay, cool. Add my shares at first. 4 plus 3 is 7 shares altogether. Okay, if I got 7 shares, I've got to divide my £72 by 7. Okay, so this one, I'm going to change the question because the question's been written wrong. I'm going to change it because it won't work at the moment. So it's 4 plus 3 still gives me 7 shares. I'm going to change the 72 to a 70 so it'll make more sense. I take my £70 now, divide it by 7. 70 divided by 7 gives me £10 per share. So if it's £10 for every share and one person gets 4 and another person gets 3, the person gets 4 shares will have £40. The person that gets 3 shares will have £30. Okay, I had to change the question because it was written incorrectly. Okay, last one. Okay, 1 over 6 plus 1 over 3. Okay, in order for this to work, in order for this one to work, I've got to have the bottom numbers the same. Now, I'm not going to cross multiply like I normally would because I don't need to. If I want to make the bottom numbers the same, make a common denominator, I'm just going to take the right hand one and I'm going to times top and bottom by 2. If I times top and bottom by 2, 1 over 6, this right hand one turns to 2 over 6. Now I can just add them together normally. 1 plus 2 on the top gives me 3. 6 and 6, if there's 6 in the question, there's 6 in the answer. 3 over 6 also simplifies to 1 over 2. Right then guys, so what I'd like you to do is mark whatever you've done so far. Pause the video now, mark whatever you've done. Give yourself a score out of 18. Again, if you're getting anywhere around 15, that's amazing and that's where I want you to be. Right then, so moving on to adding and taking away fractions is what we're doing today. Now, really straightforward adding and taking away fractions, okay? What I'd like you to do, think about this on the left hand side. I've got 1 over 5 plus 3 over 5. I want you to think about it like, imagine you've got slices of pizza left. In one pizza, okay, and I got another pizza, 2 pizzas, they're exactly the same. I've got 1 slice left in the left hand pizza, and in the right hand pizza I've got 3 slices. If you want to put those in the same box and add them together, you're going to end up with 4 slices of pizza in a box that could contain 5. It's the same thing with adding fractions, okay? So if I got 1 over 5 plus 3 over 5, all you're doing, it's staying out of 5, because we're dealing in fifths, and you add the top numbers. 1 plus 3 gives me 4. So it's possible 4 out of 5. Okay, same thing on the bottom if taken away. I got 5 sixths, I take away 1 of those 6, I end up with 4 sixths left over. Okay? 4 6 also simplifies to 2 over 3 if you want to simplify that down. Okay, it is literally that straightforward. Okay, get those examples down on the left, please. Have a go at the right. Okay, it's very, very straightforward. Pause the video now to get those examples down and have a go at the ones on the right. Right then, so the ones on the right. Okay, exactly the same. 3 plus 2 gives me 5. 7 stays on the bottom. 5 take away 2 is 3. 9 stays on the bottom. That can simplify to 1 over 3. Now just some key rules to look at this now. Some key rules. The numbers on the bottom have to be the same. To add and take away, the numbers on the bottom have to be the same. Okay, it would be worth writing down some of these key points for yourself. Also, the number on the bottom, if it's that number on the bottom in the question, it stays that number on the bottom in the answer. So you can see on my first one, it was both over 5, so it's over 5 in the answer, over 6 in the second one, over 6 in the answer. Okay, so whatever's on the bottom in the question, it stays on the bottom in the answer, and all you do is do your maths to the top. So you either add them together if it's an add, or take them away if it's a take away. And it is literally that straightforward. Right guys, so what I'd like you to do, have a look at some more difficult ones now. Now, one of our key rules was the bottom numbers have to be the same. Okay, the ones I've put in front of you now, the bottom numbers aren't the same. Okay, so we're going to have to do something different to make them the same number. Okay, so the ones on the left hand side. Okay, I've got add 1 over 6 plus 3 over 5. Okay, in order to make those the same number, what I'm going to do is I'm going to find a common denominator. Okay, so I think of the 6 times table and the 5 times table. The easiest way to find where they cross is to multiply them together. So 6 times 5 gives me 30. So I'm going to change these fractions now to make them both over 30. Plus stays in the middle. Once I'm there and I've times the bottoms together, 6 times 5 gives me 30 on the bottom of both. I cross multiply. I do 5 times this 1, which gives me 5. And then I do 6 multiplied by this 3, which gives me 18. Okay, now those two by there, these fractions by here, are exactly the same as the ones they gave us in the questions. However, they've been scaled up so we can add them together because the bottom numbers are now the same. So because the bottom numbers are both 30, it's going to be over 30 in my answer. 5 plus 18 is 23. So my answer is 23 over 30. That can't be simplified because 23 is a prime number. Same thing on this one underneath, the subtract one, okay? 6 and a 2. Okay, I'm going to multiply those two together. 6 times 2 gives me 12 on the bottom of both. So they're both going to be over 12 now. Then I cross multiply. 2 times 5 is 10. 6 times 1 is 6. Once I'm there, I take away the tops, so I get 4 on top, and the bottom stays as 12. If you want to simplify that down, if you half it and half it again, you should end up with 1 over 3. Okay, I don't mind if you don't simplify it down just yet, okay? The skill I want you to get right is adding and taking away fractions. Right, what I'd like you to do is pause the video now, get those examples written down, have a go at the ones on the right for me. Right guys, those should be done. So following the same steps as before, we're going to cross multiply. 7 times 5 means on the bottom of both now, we're going to have 35. 5 times 3 is 15. 7 times 2 is 14. Okay, so I've cross multiplied. 15 plus 14 is 29 over a possible 35. 29, remember, is a prime number, so I can't simplify that anymore. Same thing on the bottom one, okay, but it's taken away now. 8 times 5 gives me 40 on the bottom of both. 5 times 5 is 25. 8 times 2 is 16. Once I'm there, I leave 40 on the bottom of my answer. I take away 25, take away 16, gives me 9 over 40. That can't be simplified because there's nothing bigger than 1 that goes into 9 and 40. Right guys, hopefully you got both of those right. If you got them wrong, don't worry. Make sure you've got your key steps written down. You've got to cross multiply, make sure that the denominators are the same, and then once you're there, you can follow your basic adding subtraction steps. Okay? A little bit more practice. So what I'd like you to do is pause the video now, have a go. I'd like you to complete at least 1.5, maybe 2 boxes of real quality work. Okay? Pause the video, take your time. If you get 2 done, that'd be brilliant. Make sure it's quality over quantity. Okay? Don't rush. Start on the box where you feel you're at. Remember, red is not very confident, amber is middle, and green is super confident. Right guys, hopefully you finished those. Now these are the answers you should have gotten, okay? So I filled in the missing gaps. On the green box, I'm sure you're well aware that you're meant to fill in the gaps with the fractions that were there. Okay, these are the ones you should have gotten. If you've made 1 or 2 mistakes, that's really good. Okay, that means you're learning and it's the right difficulty for you. If you got them all right, you probably understand this topic really well and you need to try a different topic. Well, I think that's the very last thing we do. That was brilliant. It's been brilliant so far. Okay, what I'd like you to do, ignoring these ones on the right hand side, okay, I'd like you to have a go at questions 1 and 2 by there. Pause the video for me now. Have a go at questions 1 and 2 in front of you. Right then guys, so, okay, what I'm going to do, I've got 2 over 5 plus 1 over 3. Now, you should have attempted these already. If you get both of these right, I'm pretty sure you understand this topic really well. Remember, our bottom numbers aren't the same, so I'm going to multiply them. 5 times 3 gives me 15 on the bottom of both. Still an add question. 3 times 2 is 6. 5 times 1 is 5. 6 plus 5, it's all going to be out of 15. 6 plus 5 is 11. Okay, straightforward on the first one. Similar on the right hand side, but remember we've got to make the bottom numbers the same, but remember to take away at the end, not add. Okay, 7 times 4, 28 on the bottom of both. Minus goes in the middle. Okay, 4 times 6 is 24. 7 times 3 is 21. Once I'm here, it's going to be out of 28. 24 take away 21 is 3. If you got to there